Alright, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be playing some competitive, but honestly, I figured, what better way to talk about the competitive playlist than to go for a little bit. Today I just wanted to give my thoughts on the state of competitive and changes that I think could be made. And of course, to start out, this is the competitive experience. We already have Countdown, so yeah, this is my first competitive game of the day, so great. But I really just wanted to take some time, discuss the mode, discuss the playlist, and just discuss PvP for a little bit. I think my first thought on the whole matter is that, of course, it has felt like with all the dungeons, with all the raids now, don't get me wrong, I'm incredibly happy about it because, they bring us more content. We are able to do more. We are able to get more loot. That is not a problem to me. What is a problem is the negligence to PvP. It feels like at times the entire side of the game was abandoned. Now, yes, Bungie did implement a strike team for PvP, but we haven't even seen that go into effect, and that was announced, what, 9 months ago? I mean, we're about to finally get a map pack this year. Of course, there have been sandbox changes and all that. There have been slight tweaks in game modes, but other than Trials of Osiris, I don't think there has really been any sort of focus on PvP. And all the suggestions that I feel like the community has given have been kind of, I don't want to say they've been ignored. They've been listened to, but they make changes that are somehow worse. It's a very weird kind of situation that Bungie has put themselves into. We asked for Rift because back in Destiny 1, Rift was one of the funnest modes. They brought back Rift, but changed it and added it into competitive, which made no sense. And while, do I dislike Rift now? No, not at all, but I don't feel like it's as fun as it was back in D1. With that, let's focus on the competitive part of that. They added Rift into a 3v3 competitive playlist, which was by far one of the dumbest things I think they could have done for competitive. Last season, I believe it was, because we were all complaining about why is this a thing? Why do we have to go into 3v3 Rift and play a game mode that is just so, it just drags. It wasn't fun in any sense of the word. I felt like it was the equivalent of pulling teeth every time I stepped into competitive Rift. And what did they do after that? Well, they implemented a mode that you are seeing right now, Countdown Rush. So, yet again, they brought back a mode from the past and tweaked it. And this one I can for sure say they made a lot worse. Right here, this is one of the things that I dislike. We just got our point, but play continues. You have to get both charges activated for a round to end. And honestly, I just don't like it. I don't like how the structure of the game mode is. I don't like how it progresses. I don't like how you are able to camp and hold a singular spot and just force. And I especially don't like when, you as like a defending team, where you're supposed to set and defend the charges, if you were to set the charge and die, it spawns you all the way over here. How in the heck am I going to be able to defend that when I'm 100 meters away? It creates so many disadvantages just for simply playing the game. And I don't know who thought that was a good idea. Like right here, they are holding 1 point. We are forced to spawn on the opposite side of the map, whether it be across or like farther over that way. We're still 70 meters away. what is the point of it? I would not have minded if they brought back just traditional countdown. That didn't make me want to bash my head into a wall. But this one, that just feels so foreign as a game mode, it drives me nuts. It really does. And I sit here and think about what could they do with competitive. And that's one thing that, other than Trials, no one really cares about competitive PvP in Destiny. So what can Bungie do to improve upon that? Well, first off, let's not even look at the competitive aspect and just look at PvP. Let's get more maps more consistently. Let's add more weapons into PvP. Honestly, I think if you improved loot around the game and add more weapons on a consistent basis. Now, I'm not saying you have to have major expansion drop weapon loot sets every season. But if they could just get to a happy medium where, okay, you want to have some seasonal sets where you get about 4 or 5 weapons and some armor every season, that's fine. But at least whenever there's a big expansion, let's get a complete overhaul of the weapon set. Get like a new weapon for each weapon type, for each major activity. And then, of course, you have the raids, you have the dungeons, their sets, you have the seasonal, their sets, the exotics that are introduced throughout the year, all the holiday events and their sets. It would make the game a little bit more rewarding. You could put a little more focus into actually playing the game and tolerating it. Also, adding in a more diverse mode set. Because honestly, I kind of get sick of Control sometimes. I still wish they would have kept Clash as a mainstay. Take the playlists that people like and just make more game modes that people can play. I mean, I feel like that's a big part of it. You want to be able to hop in and be able to do different things. Literally, I go into PvP now and it's either Control or Comp. That's it. There's no variety with it. Now, going back into competitive. Please take down Countdown Rush. I'm pretty sure if you were to ask the entire Destiny 2 community, about 97% of the people would say they hate this mode. Not even with a passion. They just hate it. They don't want to play it. Plain and simple. It's like how we felt. And I've heard people say that they would have preferred Rift from last season over Countdown Rush. So what can Bungie do to give competitive just a better feel? Well, first off is, of course, take out the mode that people hate. That is the big one. Second is get a good balance. If you're going to have a rotator playlist, just have 2 modes that people will enjoy playing in a competitive atmosphere. I like survival, and I think a lot of the people would agree that survival is a fine mode. They made some changes over the years, but it hasn't been negatively received as much as other modes, like the one we just saw. And then I would like to see them add elimination. Let's go to the screen. So, right here went black, so give me a second. Right here, you have, oh, well, Showdown was over here, but occasionally you'll have elimination on this side. So you'll have the opportunity to play elimination. Why not just put it in a competitive? You can have survival, elimination, 2 life-based, elimination-based game modes that people have played and enjoyed in a competitive atmosphere. Elimination with Trials and survival in the comp playlist. There's your competitive playlist. That allows you to take this spot and go ahead and just put like a rotator for, if you wanted to do a rotator, or just leave this one, and you can just add like Clash or Rift. But let's get more modes on this screen. Let's get 2 playlists that people actually do enjoy into this spot. And I like what they do with Belisarius and some of the other weapons that they've added. Having a ritual weapon, essentially, for the competitive playlist. It adds a little value to it. But not many people want to go in it if they hate the playlist. So of course I want to hear what you guys think. Honestly, I feel like the answer's been staring at him this whole time over the last couple years. But with all the layoffs they had, with all the changes at the studio, we still haven't even seen really the strike team come into effect yet. We haven't even seen really many of the feedback that we've given make a positive impact. So hopefully, and again, this is kind of why I want to make a video for my hopes for the final shape. I'm hoping that Bungie will finally look at PvP, see the problems, and react accordingly. Fixing the competitive playlist and not adding modes that shouldn't be in there. Giving us more diversity with playlists, because again, this is just bland. If you were to take a screenshot of Rise of Iron from Destiny 1, we had more modes, we had more flexibility with what we wanted to play. We had more weapons, which again, I know they're not going to be able to make brand new sets for each weapon class every season, but at least once a year, and let's keep updating it like you have been, because that has been really nice having the at least one weapon every season come in. Even if it's been reprised, having it is still nice. And then of course the competitive, and then of course trials. So Destiny 2 PvP has a chance to be a main part of the game, not just something off to the side where you can play when you're sick of raids or dungeons. Because don't get me wrong, again, I love raids and dungeons and everything they've done with PvE. I feel like they've hit the nail on the head mostly with PvE, but it's time to get PvP some love. So if you have any ideas, if you like any of my ideas, let me know. I want to make this video just so that we could open up the conversation about it and talk about the playlist and really the entire side of the game. So with that, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, be sure to hit that like button down below, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and hit that like button if you hate Countdown Rush as much as I do. I'll see you guys next time. I just hit my hand on my desk. Peace.